I wasn't supposed to be alive to tell this story. Most days, I wish I weren't. If you're listening to this, let it be a warning. Not all Christmas traditions are meant to be honored. It happened 2 years ago on Christmas Eve. I was spending the holidays alone in my old family home. It's a small, creaky Victorian place on the edge of a quiet town. My parents had left it to me when they passed, and though I hadn't lived there for years, nostalgia, or maybe guilt, drew me back. I lit the fireplace, decorated a small tree, and poured myself some eggnog. The house was cold and drafty, but I thought I'd make it festive. I wanted to feel something other than the crushing loneliness that seemed to have followed me everywhere since the accident. The first sign that something was wrong came just before midnight. I was sitting by the fire, flipping through an old photo album when I heard it, the faint sound of sleigh bells. At first, I thought it was from one of those cheesy holiday playlists I had playing in the background. But no, this sound was different. It wasn't cheery or rhythmic. It was uneven, almost off-key. The sound grew louder, and with it came a strange feeling, like the air around me had thickened. My chest tightened as I stood and peered out the frosted window. The snow in the front yard was untouched, the street deserted. No cars, no people. And yet, the bells kept ringing, closer now, and accompanied by something else. A faint crunching of snow, as though someone, or something, was walking outside. I tried to tell myself it was my imagination, maybe a neighbor's decorations caught in the wind. But when I turned back to the living room, my breath caught in my throat. The fire had gone out. I hadn't heard it sputter or die. One moment it was crackling warmly, and the next the room was cold and dark, lit only by the dim glow of the Christmas tree. That's when I saw the first shadow. It moved across the room, just at the edge of my vision, fleeting and quick. I spun around, searching for its source, but there was nothing there. And yet, I felt it, a presence heavy and oppressive, watching me. The bells rang again, this time from inside the house. I froze. My heart pounded in my chest, each beat echoing in my ears. Slowly, I backed toward the hallway, my phone clutched in my hand. I dialed 911, but the line didn't even ring. Just static. "Who's there?" I called out, my voice shaking. No answer. Just the soft tinkling of those damn bells, growing louder, closer. I reached the stairs and turned to run up to my room, thinking I could lock myself in and wait it out. But as I climbed, the air grew colder, each breath forming a cloud in front of me. And then I saw it. A figure stood at the top of the stairs, shrouded in shadow. Its shape was wrong, too tall, too thin, with arms that seemed to stretch unnaturally long. It held something in its hand, a large rusted bell that it rang slowly, methodically. The sound reverberated through my bones, freezing me in place. Its head tilted, and though I couldn't see its eyes, I knew it was looking at me. I turned and bolted back down the stairs, my feet slipping on the wooden steps. The sound of the bell followed me, each ring louder than the last. I ran to the front door, fumbling with the lock, but my hands were shaking too much. I felt it behind me, its cold breath on the back of my neck. I yanked the door open and stumbled into the snow, not stopping until I reached the street. When I turned back, the house was dark. The figure was gone. But the bells, they didn't stop. For hours, I wandered the streets, the sound haunting me, no matter how far I went. Eventually, I found myself at the police station, half frozen and babbling about shadows and bells. They found nothing at the house. No footprints in the snow, no sign of forced entry. But I know what I saw, and now, every Christmas Eve, I hear them again. The bells. Always just out of sight, always growing closer. I haven't set foot in that house since, but it doesn't matter. It's not the house they're tied to, it's me. So, if you ever hear bells on a silent night, don't go looking for them. Don't open the door. And for the love of God, don't run. They'll find you anyway.